Hey guys, what's up? Mano here and welcome to the channel. I have been receiving a lot of inquiries from new riders asking about what upgrades work best for their bike. Answering all of your questions is enjoyable since I get to connect with you and share stuff that I know. I'm not an expert, but I do know a few things here and there. As much as I would like to help all of you, it's a bit overwhelming on my part given that I have quite a lot of priorities. So I came up with this video to help you in this matter. This video is all about cheap motorcycle upgrades. Yes, if there is one thing better than upgrading parts on your bike, it has to be cheap upgrades. And what's even better is free upgrades. So in this video, I'll be discussing these upgrades that you can do right now. Okay, so the things that I'm about to tell you applies to a lot of motorcycles. Some of them can be done to your bike, some cannot, so it is important to note what works for your bike. Now let's start with engine performance. Yes, everybody wants more power out of their bikes, may it be a carbureted bike or a fuel-injected bike. If there's one thing that an engine loves the most, it is air. Upgrading the air filter of your bike allows more air into the combustion chamber, resulting into better combustion, of course, which then leads to better throttle response, resulting to better acceleration and fuel economy. In terms of bang for the buck, an upgraded air filter is a lot cheaper compared to an exhaust system. Now, another cheap upgrade you can do is change your engine sprocket. Yes, an engine sprocket is a lot cheaper compared to the rear wheel sprocket, and it's also a lot easier to do. Now, this depends on what you want out of your bike. If you want better acceleration, swap your engine sprocket for a smaller one. Minus one tooth in the engine sprocket will result in quicker acceleration. If you want more top speed, change the sprocket for something a bit bigger. Now, the cool thing about this mod is that most of the time, you don't have to change your drive chain. It's just a matter of adjusting your rear axle forward or back to get the right tension. Next cheap upgrade has something to do with your brakes. Most front brake systems nowadays are disc brakes. To improve your front brake the cheapest way possible, upgrade your stock rubber brake hose to a steel braided unit. This will give you better braking response since a steel braided hose doesn't expand as much as compared to the stock rubber brake hose. This is probably the most expensive upgrade in the list, but it's still cheaper than upgrading your entire braking system. Now, if you're running a drum brake system, may it be for the front or the rear, most popularly in classic styled motorcycles or vintage motorcycles, I highly recommend that you clean your braking system regularly. To further improve your drum brake's response and biting power, you can swap your stock brake arm for a longer one. A longer brake arm requires less torque to operate as compared to a shorter one, and the more force you apply, the stronger the bite on your brakes become. This is a very inexpensive upgrade that works really well. So now you have improved engine and braking performance, but if there is one thing that brings those together, it has to be your suspension system. Your suspension is the one in charge of transferring all that engine and braking power to the ground, and this oftentimes is the most overlooked part of any bike in terms of improvement. If your bike is equipped with adjustable suspension like this, I highly recommend you experiment with its settings. Different riders have different riding styles and preferences. This subject requires a different video to fully discuss, and I highly recommend you do your research. Okay, now this part is probably the most cost-effective upgrade that you can do to your bike because these can be done for free. Not unless if you hire someone to do these though. If there's one thing that I am very particular about on any motorcycle, it has to be comfort. Yes, being comfortable on your bike is the biggest factor to operating your bike effectively. All bikes are built differently and so is everybody. If your handlebars look like this, then you can simply loosen the bolts holding the top clamps and rotate your bars to your preferred position. Now, if your stock handlebars are just too low for you, simply install a set of handlebar risers like these. These are relatively cheap and are very easy to install as well. Now, another free upgrade you can do is to adjust your levers. Simply loosen the clamps holding your clutch and brake levers and rotate to your preferred position. For your foot controls, you can also do the same thing. For the gear shifter, all you have to do is remove it and put it back in a different position that you find efficient on your part. The same can be done for your foot brake. Now, the next cheap upgrade has something to do with your visibility. We live at a time of cheap electronics, and one super cheap upgrade you can do right now to your bike is swap out your stock halogen headlight for a much brighter LED one. This is one upgrade I highly recommend, especially if you ride at night. Not only can you see better, but it also allows other motorists to see you easily. Alrighty, probably the most effective free upgrade you can do to your bike right now is, of course, proper maintenance. Clean your bike regularly. Lubricate all moving parts. Tighten or replace loose nuts and bolts. Use the factory recommended oil. Maintain proper tire pressure, and the list goes on. If your bike comes with a maintenance manual, I suggest you read it. Follow the instructions indicated, and if there is anything that you need help with, go to a reputable technician. Okay, the last cheap upgrade on this list has something to do with you as a rider. Work on your riding skills and prioritize yourself first. Work on your reflexes, awareness, and physical capacity to operate any vehicle. Practice makes perfect, and there's always room for improvement. After all, you are the one operating the machine, not the other way around. It doesn't matter if you ride the most advanced bike in production or the most basic model out there. If you're a crappy rider, then all of those upgrades, may it be free, cheap, or expensive, are useless. Okay, that's all I can think of right now. If you found this helpful, leave a like and subscribe to my channel. If you have something to add to this list, leave a comment for others to know. As always, see you next time. Bye.